Hi everyone. In this lesson, we are briefly going to talk about adding methods to interfaces. We did talk about this interface in our previous lesson and this one, the object created from that interface. Now, how would we go about creating a method for an interface? Now, when it comes to interfaces, the methods are going to be the shape of that method. So if we want an object to implement a function, that's what we call a method. When that function is within an object, we call it a method. We don't call it a function. So what do we want this method to look like? That's what we're going to specify inside the interface. And when it comes to the implementation, then we go to our object. So first, within the interface, we need to specify the shape, and there are actually two ways of doing that. We could go about it two ways. So let's say it's like the sales season, and I want to run promotions on this course. So I would have to create a method called run promotions. So the first way of creating a method would be like providing a pair of parentheses, indicating that this is a method, and then I need to specify what this method returns. In this case, I wanted to return Boolean. So I want to know whether this is the season of sales or it's not. So this is method one for creating a method. So this is the first way. I am going to comment this one out, not could, but I can, and I'm going to say method two. The second way of creating that. The second way would be like, let's say if we want to add a parameter to our function. So in the second way, I'm going to add a parameter to the function. So the function is, we decided it to be promotions. Cool. And I want this to be a function. So I'm going to provide it with a colon. Now, here is where it gets interesting. So far, it doesn't look like a function. But what I can do is I can use the syntax that we have for arrow functions to make sure that it looks like a function, that it indicates the shape of a function. So I'm going to provide it with a pair of parentheses, which we provide when we want to create function parameters, right? So I'm going to give it one parameter, and that is going to be name, with a type of string. And then again, what does this function return? What is it going to return? It's going to return Boolean. And I'm going to say that this will return a Boolean. So in here, this basically indicates this fat arrow. Like, I feel bad by calling it that. This irregular arrow, it basically says that we want to return Boolean from the function. Now, I'm going to stick with the second one. You can choose whichever method you want. And let's implement it within our function. Of course, I'm not going to go through the trouble of implementing it. We just wanted to take a look at how we can write a method or add a method to our interface. Now in here, first the name of the function. Here you can see it says run promotions, and then it requires the name of that. So I could go about the function right here, the same way like we are creating a function declaration, or I can keep this shape in mind. So after run promotions, I can provide a colon, and then the parameter. And in this case, what is going to be that parameter? The parameter is going to be called course name. Now I can stick with this name. This is like a placeholder for the name of the parameter, or I can just change it to this one. And then I'm going to say that this is going to return a Boolean. So I'm going to say return, for example, true. And that's it. So how can we access this function or this method? We need to access our object course1 dot, and it is in the list run promotions. And as soon as I do that, it is going to ask for the name of the course. Python And if we take a look at that, it says true. So it is the season of sales. That's it for this video. See you in the next one.